I know you know. I know you know. I know. You know. I know you.
Think I ain't spoke to my son. Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas. His going to prison.
I said a while ago when T.I.'s son King was getting a lot of flack and a lot of heat in the media, that to me he just looked like a young kid that wanted to prove to his father that he was a man too.
King Harris's whole situation just went from bad to worse after his mom Tiny hit T.I. with divorce papers, and the reason behind it has everybody talking. She's done holding things together, especially after T.I. publicly distanced himself from King following his messy arrest. What's shocking is that T.I. isn't even trying to fight the divorce or patch things up. He's letting it all fall apart. Now the family is in chaos, with everybody pointing fingers and blaming each other for how things got so out of control. The drama is pulling them apart in front of the whole world, and the big question is, who's really at fault here? Is it the parents who spoiled King and gave him everything he could ever want? Or is it King himself for throwing it all away just to chase a fake gangster image?
I need you to step out the vehicle.
What you want to do? You want to take my gun off my head?
Yes, sir.
Just one in the head.
Does your buddy have one as well?
Just guns on there.
All right, just hang tight right here for me. Let me clear this. I don't want any accidental fires.
There's no safety. You gotta take.
There's no safety.
Just take
Okay.
the clip out.
Well, I'm not gonna mess around with that too much. Let me just set this down right here. You'd step
Can I
out
get
for
out
me.
now?
Yes, sir. Place your hands behind your back for me. All right, right now you're just being detained. You're not under arrest.
You straight?
Where's your final at? I'm gonna be at the church. All right, I appreciate you being cool, man. We're just gonna take a look at this information, make sure it's valid.
I ain't feeling this.
Just take a step to the side for me.
At first, fans couldn't believe Tiny and T.I. were splitting after so many years together. They've been through scandals, career ups and downs, and endless drama side by side. But the truth is, cracks had been there for a long time, and October 2024 became the breaking point. That's when King's reckless behavior forced the entire family into the spotlight and dragged their private issues into the open. The drama started when King peeled out of a gas station in his BMW, driving wild like he had something to prove, and nearly smashed into a cop car. The timing couldn't have been worse because when the police pulled him over, what they discovered made the situation explode into something way bigger. The smell of weed hit them instantly, and from there, things spiraled. When cops looked closer, they spotted something that took the whole arrest to another level: a gun tucked right into King's waistband. At that point, it wasn't just bad, it was game over. They confiscated the gun, slapped cuffs on him, and when they ran his name through the system, boom, the truth came out. King had an outstanding warrant all the way back from 2022 for speeding, driving on a suspended license, and even a DUI. That's when everything collapsed for him. He could have walked away with just a citation if he had kept it cool, but instead, his past came back to haunt him in the worst way possible.
Hitting me and getting in my comments, telling me what to tell King, okay? I know my son. Think I ain't spoke to my son? Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas? His going to prison. If you got to keep that up, his ass going to prison. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do about it. Can't nobody stop it but him. You know what I mean? I've already had that conversation. I've already made my peace with it. Cause I know that energy. I was that energy. I know exactly how it's gonna turn out.
Once the arrest footage leaked online, the internet lit him up with no mercy. What really shook people was how different King looked in that video. This wasn't the same loud, arrogant kid we've all seen flexing on social media. In that 30-minute clip, you could see it in his face: regret, realization, and a whole lot of fear. For once, he wasn't crashing out or putting on a show. He seemed to know the only way out was to cooperate. And for someone with King's history of wild behavior, staying calm like that took serious restraint. Even the arresting officer commented on how composed he stayed through the whole ordeal. But here's the catch: that calm attitude didn't save him. He still got booked into DeKalb County Jail before being moved to Pickens County once the warrant got cleared. And when the video spread like wildfire online, fans dragged him in the comment section. One person mocked him, saying he was just a trust fund prison punk, and the comment went viral with thousands laughing at it. Another wrote, "He really thinks mommy and daddy's money gonna save him, but wants to act like he came from nothing." Those words cut deep, but they showed how people really felt about King's fake tough guy persona. But here's the real twist. The fallout didn't stop with King. It tore straight into his parents' marriage. All those cracks Tiny had been holding in suddenly turned into a complete collapse. While Tip tried to play the heartbroken father in public, Tiny wasn't buying it. She was livid and came with receipts. In her divorce filings, she made it clear King's downward spiral was the final straw. And shockingly, T.I. didn't fight her, didn't beg, didn't try to fix a thing. In his eyes, he did his job as a father, and if King wanted to ruin his life, that was on him. As harsh as it sounds, I wasn't lying when he warned King about the road he was headed down.
Stop talking to me. This ain't your restaurant. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name? My name King, you know it, and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. File show. Come back. What? On game what? On game what? Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here, I'll show you what I do. Come here.
Back in 2022, when King first started going viral for wild behavior, Tip actually went online and pleaded with his son to slow down. He told King straight up that he was headed toward a dark future and that if he didn't change his ways, jail was waiting for him. He even admitted he had been telling Tiny and King's grandmother the exact same thing, that they all needed to keep a close eye on him before it was too late. And this wasn't just empty talk from T.I. He knew the cost of that lifestyle firsthand. He had been locked up before, he knew the price, and he didn't want to see another young man, especially his own son, walk into that same trap. But Tiny wasn't buying the speech at all. In fact, she flipped it and used it against him in her divorce filings. She argued that Tip hadn't been a proper father to King, and that if he had stepped up more consistently, King wouldn't have wandered so far off track. And here's the thing, she wasn't entirely wrong. T.I. had been in and out of prison since the time Tiny found out she was pregnant with King. By the time he finally got out for real, King was already used to living without his dad around. And when Tip was present, it didn't change much either, because word is he allegedly shipped King off to live with his grandmother instead of keeping him at home. King himself once admitted that even though his parents had money, he didn't grow up feeling rich, because he spent most of his childhood at his grandma's house. He even claimed the only times he got to step foot in his parents' mansion were when cameras were rolling for their reality TV show. With a setup like that, it's no shock that King ended up craving attention and acting out the way he did. With every stunt King pulled, it was clear he was drifting closer and closer to a life behind bars. One of the biggest red flags came in 2022 during that infamous Waffle House meltdown. All it took was a worker messing up his order, throwing pickles on his food when he didn't even want pickles, and King completely lost it. He started screaming at the employee, recording the whole altercation on his phone, and then blasted it on social media like it was something to brag about. But instead of looking tough, the clip exposed him as an entitled kid throwing a tantrum. Fans dragged him online, and the question everyone asked was the same: why was T.I. letting his son spiral out of control like this? So when Tip later went online begging King to straighten up, Tiny was furious. She felt all that parenting and warning should have happened years earlier, not when their son was already deep in trouble.
To make him look better, he said shit he know not true. Silver spoon, I ain't never ate with that day a day in my life.
Nigga, you did have a silver spoon.
Look, Tip used to have to come to my grandma's house, because I'm getting in the fight.
You act like a baby to go to your grandmama's house.
Every day.
You used to hold your breath.
Every day.
I know you. I know you.
Shut up.
I know you.
Shut up. know you
Ain't
know.
no mystery about here.
I know.
For a while, things cooled off, but T.I.'s disappointment in King never really went away, and it all exploded in public at an Atlanta Falcons game. That's when father and son shocked the crowd by getting into a heated argument that quickly turned physical. It all started when King claimed he didn't grow up with privilege, trying to paint himself as someone who had to struggle. That hit a nerve with Tip, who immediately stepped in and reminded him he grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. But King wasn't trying to hear it. He snapped back at his dad, and in seconds, fists were flying between them. The clip that surfaced online showed just how real it got. I wasn't holding back, and it looked like he was ready to throw hands with his own son like he was another grown man in the streets. The clip of T.I. and King's fight spread like wildfire, racking up thousands of likes in just hours. People online were quick to praise Tip, saying he was finally disciplining his son the way he should have done years ago. One viral comment read, "He should have busted his behind." That's like an overdue library book. If you don't check the problem, it's gonna turn on you. Others chimed in saying, "King's been out of control. Pray for their family." But while fans were cheering for T.I., Tiny was furious. She didn't see a father disciplining his son, she saw humiliation. And things got even worse when she got home and discovered that Tip had actually kicked King out of the house, forcing him to figure out how to survive on his own. To Tiny, that wasn't tough love, that was crossing the line. And that decision blew a hole straight through their marriage, pushing her closer than ever to cutting Tip off for good. When Tiny filed those divorce papers, she didn't just list King's troubles as the reason, she went deeper. She exposed T.Y.'s long history of cheating and his violent past. For years, she said she stood by while he stepped out on their marriage, only for him to spin stories about how he was changing. But those lies stacked up like bricks, and by the time King crashed into his own mess, Tiny wasn't just angry at her son. She was looking at the man who raised him and realizing the cycle was repeating all over again. That's why she finally walked away. What broke her heart the most was seeing King tracing the exact same path that once gave T.I. his tough guy reputation: arrests, jail time, and chaos. To Tiny, when Tip disowned King after the arrest, he wasn't just cutting off his son, he was rejecting his own reflection. And that's when she snapped and slammed those divorce papers on the table. And you can see how desperate King is for his father's approval in the way he acts out. Always flashing guns on camera, always trying to prove he's about that life. After his arrest video went viral, some fans even speculated that King walked into that situation on purpose, just to earn jail time and boost his street cred. Plenty of people online said King had finally proven himself as the rugged street dude he'd been trying to be for years. Some fans even believe every wild stunt he pulls is just a cry for his father's approval. And in a twisted way, it looked like it worked. Just think back to the time T.I. and Boosie had to check their sons on camera. King and Boosie's son, Tootie Raw, were supposed to be filming a music video, but instead of focusing on music, they were busy flashing guns like they were in a trap house. That's when both dads stepped in and shut it all down. You could hear the disappointment in T.I.'s voice as he grilled King, asking why he cared more about looking tough than enjoying himself around girls. What started as a call-out turned into a full-on lecture. T.I. didn't hold back either. He made it clear that one wrong move with a gun or even having something illegal in the mix was enough to ruin their entire futures. Both he and Boosie weren't laughing, weren't smiling. They were dead serious in that moment, and it showed. On the surface, it looked like Tip was doing everything he could to drill the truth into his son's head, that this path only led to jail. But when Tiny heard about the whole situation, she wasn't impressed at all. She wasn't proud that T.I. tried to discipline King in front of cameras. She was furious. To her, he wasn't protecting their son. He was embarrassing him in public years too late. Because in her eyes, King wasn't doing anything new, he was only mimicking the exact reckless behavior he'd watched his father glorify for years. But what finally made Tiny snap wasn't just the guns or the fake gangster act, it was King's baby mama drama. T.I. went on a podcast and casually announced he was about to be a grandfather again because King was having a child, and Tiny couldn't believe her ears. To her, it sounded like Tip was celebrating King's mess instead of correcting it. And the situation only got messier once rumors about King's baby mama, Big Nana, started flying. People online claimed she was much older than him, with some even suggesting she only got with King to secure a bag, something he was way too young and immature to notice. But King didn't care about any of the whispers. He was hyped to step into the father role, and when his son was born in November 2024, he was over the moon, posting nonstop about his baby and bragging about being a young dad. Some folks online claimed King had finally earned the tough guy title he'd been chasing for years. Others were convinced every move he made was just a desperate attempt to win T.I.'s respect. And for a while, it seemed like his antics got him exactly that attention. Just think back to when Tip and Boozy had to step in and check their sons on camera. King and Boozy's son, Tootie Raw, were supposed to be filming a music video, but instead of focusing on music, they were busy flashing guns like they were in a trap house. That's when the dad stormed in and shut it all down. You could hear the disappointment dripping from T.I.'s voice as he pressed King, asking why he cared so much about looking tough when he should have been enjoying life. What started as a call-out turned into a full-on lecture right there in front of everyone. Tip made sure to drill the message in. One wrong move with a gun or even having the wrong people around could destroy their futures instantly. He and Boozy weren't playing games. You could see how serious they were in that moment. On the outside, it looked like T.I. was trying his hardest to steer his son back on track. But when Tiny heard about the whole scene, she wasn't impressed. She was actually angry at T.I. for airing their son's business out like that. And it wasn't because she approved of King's flexing. No, she just felt Tip was years too late, because to her, King wasn't doing anything new. He was only copying the same reckless behavior his father once put on display. But the moment that finally pushed Tiny over the edge wasn't even about guns. It was King's baby mama drama. When I casually went on a podcast and revealed he was about to be a grandfather because King was having a child, Tiny nearly lost it. To her, it sounded less like a warning and more like T.I. was celebrating the situation. And the drama didn't stop there. Rumors swirled online that King's baby mama, Big Nana, was much older than him, with people whispering that she only got with him to secure a bag. King, however, didn't care about any of the speculation. He was overjoyed, stepping proudly into fatherhood, and when his son was born in November 2024, he was bragging nonstop online. He even dropped a track called Dear Son, posting the caption, November 5th, 8:09 a.m. Welcome King Jr., time to take over. For a second, it really looked like fatherhood was making King grow up. He was calmer, more focused, and for Tiny, it was beautiful to finally see her son stepping into the role of a present father. The exact opposite of what she'd gone through when T.I. was in and out of prison during King's childhood. But of course, the timing couldn't have been worse. While King was on Instagram playing Proud Dad, his messy arrest video was still circulating, reminding the world that he was still knee-deep in trouble. And as much as T.I. tried to play the role of a supportive father, he couldn't hide his disappointment for long. That was the breaking point for Tiny. Because to her, watching Tip turn his back on their son instead of helping him was unforgivable. So when those divorce papers landed, nobody was shocked. It was simply the final blow to a marriage that had been falling apart for years. Tiny's done. No more covering, no more protecting, no more excuses. And now all eyes are on T.I. What's he going to do next? Because if he keeps staying silent like he did with King, this family may already be finished for good. And that's a wrap on today's story. If you rocked with this video, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment, share it with your people, and subscribe to Starbuzz Daily, where we bring you the real drama every single time. See you on the next one.